McDonald's has finally realized they can't keep charging these high prices for fast food anymore. The CEO practically waved the white flag in his latest comments.
What we see with middle and lower income consumers is actually a different story. It's that consumers under a lot of pressure. In our industry, traffic for lower income consumers is down double digits. And it's because people are either choosing to skip a meal, so we're seeing breakfast. People are actually skipping breakfast, or they're choosing to just eat at home.
Now, it's no secret Americans have been angry at McDonald's for a while now, and it's not without reason. A few years ago, a photo of an $18 Big Mac meal went viral and instantly became the symbol of how the chain had lost touch with its identity. And yeah, sure, that wasn't the everyday price everywhere, but internet outrage doesn't need perfect logic to stick. That single image struck a nerve because it captured the broader reality. McDonald's has gotten a lot more expensive without getting a lot better. This is the company that used to define affordable fast food, a place where you could feed a family of 4 without really thinking twice. Now, after years of price hikes and declining traffic, particularly from the lower and middle class, McDonald's is backpedaling. Starting this month, they're slashing prices on combo meals in what looks less like a bold strategy and more like capitulation. But before we get into the specifics of what they're offering, it's worth looking at what the CEO and the president of McDonald's US have been saying, because it explains exactly why the company is making this move, and also I think it shines a light on where most of America is financially right now.
Part of what we also saw was that, particularly with middle and lower income consumers, they're feeling under a lot of pressure right now. I think there's a lot of commentary about what's the state of the economy, how's it doing, and what we see is it's really kind of a two-tier economy. If you're upper income, earning over $100,000, things are good. Stock markets are near all-time highs. You're feeling, quite confident about things. You're seeing international travel, all those barometers. And so for our business, which has a significant group of consumers which are in that middle and lower income, we needed to step in with something like what we're doing here.
Their CEO singled out a specific pain point in the recent earnings call. When customers see combo meals priced above $10 on the menu board, which is the majority of them, it's reshaping how customers perceive the value of McDonald's. In other words, it's sticker shock. Joe Erlinger, who runs McDonald's US, put it even more bluntly. He said, customers are telling us they need more of the everyday value and affordability that defines the McDonald's brand. I think that's quite a remarkable admission because it shows the company knows it has strayed from the very thing that has helped make it so iconic. Now, most of you know I've made several videos about fast food and McDonald's in the past, and every time there seems to be a general consensus in the comments section. People say things like, fast food isn't worth it. These companies are being too greedy. It's too expensive. On and on. So I have to imagine that these folks who work at these big fast food companies see this online sentiment out there about the current state of their prices, and in tandem, they're clearly also seeing the decline in traffic from their customers. In McDonald's most recent quarter, their same-store sales did grow year over year, which was better than the 2 previous quarters that saw declines. But that doesn't mean everything is suddenly fine, because that bump in sales really overshadowed a lot of the underlying problems. Fewer visits from lower income households, negative brand perception, and the fact that Wall Street cheered the short-term growth while the company was still losing its grip with its most important customers. That's where these new deals come in. McDonald's is rolling out what they call the return of the extra value meals. This is different from the typical deals you'll find in the McDonald's app, and it's certainly different from the $5 meal deal that they've ran over the last year or so. Now, in addition to that, sometime in the last year, they rolled out something called McValue, which I covered in another video, but in my opinion, paying $3 for one hash brown and then being enticed to buy one more for just $1 isn't really my idea of a great deal. But anyways, these new extra value meals are at least a clearer step. They're offering about a 15% discount off of the normal price of some of their most popular meals, like $5 sausage egg McMuffin, $8 Big Mac meals, and more. And mind you, they're doing this at the same time their competitors are also hitting value pretty hard. Wendy's still has its $5 Biggie Bag, Burger King has been hammering the 2 for $6 mix and match, Taco Bell keeps pumping out the $5 to $7 box deals. And that's not to say that all of these other chains are doing great, because they're really not. Taco Bell is the one fast food chain that keeps beating the odds, but if you ask me, that's because they still offer many different items at lower price points. But basically, all of these fast food chains are experiencing similar issues as McDonald's. You can see it clearly in the data. Traffic to US restaurants is down 1.7% this year, and fast food visits specifically are down 2.7%, according to Black Box Intelligence. When people decided it's cheaper to cook at home than drop $12 at McDonald's, that's when the Golden Arches lost their advantage. But there's another layer here. The economy isn't working in their favor. Inflation is still elevated, and the job market is starting to weaken. For most households, that pressure means cutting back. Historically, McDonald's thrives when the economy slows down because people trade down from sit-down restaurants. But that trade-down effect hasn't been happening. Wealthier households also don't care about saving a few bucks on a Big Mac, and the customers McDonald's depends on, lower and middle income families, well, those are the ones that are skipping fast food altogether. And that's especially who McDonald's is desperate to get back. That's why this new extra value rollout feels more like damage control, and it's not the first time that they've done this. McDonald's has never figured out how to move past the dollar menu. Customers still measure everything against it too. Franchisees hated it because it squeezed margins, and McDonald's corporate can never quite find the sweet spot all of these years later. And every few years, they try to reinvent value in a new package, but it always ends up being a watered-down version of what people still associate with the brand, or at least how they used to associate the brand. This new push might buy them time, it might even give them a bump in sales, but it doesn't answer the deeper question of how a brand that built its name on cheap food can survive once it's not cheap anymore. And don't forget, McDonald's franchises about 95% of their locations worldwide. So while corporate has to get franchisees on board when they come out with deals like this one, history shows franchisees have never really been that thrilled about them. The dollar menu was famous for pulling in customers but left franchisees eating the cost, and that tension hasn't ever gone away, as I mentioned. Now, corporate wants to restore its value image. Franchisees want to protect their margin, and that tug of war means most of these deals are likely temporary, which raises the obvious question: will these extra value meals actually stick, or will they quietly disappear after 6 months or a year, like nearly every other promotion? Now, I always want to try to be fair in my videos. We've talked a lot about how fast food has become unaffordable, but also how the experience itself has declined. Longer wait times, fewer workers, higher reliance on the app or kiosks, and all of that makes alternatives more appealing. And on the other hand, I'm certainly not saying it's a bad thing that McDonald's is now lowering their prices. I mean, I think that's what they should be doing. And yes, some people will and have argued that fewer fast food trips is a good thing. But that's not really the point I'm trying to make. People do plenty of things every day that aren't great for them. But when a company like McDonald's prices out the very customers it was designed for, it's still worth examining, in my opinion. So yeah, I think it's good McDonald's is finally feeling the pressure to bring back some more affordable options. Now, this isn't going to happen in certain higher cost of living areas, certainly not to the same extent as it will in other parts of the country. But overall, it seems like a step in the right direction. So when you zoom out, this is really just the latest chapter in a decades-long struggle McDonald's has had with affordability. A toxic relationship with the dollar menu they could never escape, even when franchisees rebelled against it. And if history is any guide, this round of value will fade. The prices will creep back up to new all-time highs, and the company will be right back where it started, desperate to remind people why they should choose McDonald's in the first place. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about America's new debt trap, well, I covered it in this video here. Please check it out next. Thanks for watching.